Oh, you know what month it is? I don't know if I've mentioned this before, how important this month is to me, but I'm going to mention it now. Anybody that's ever known me throughout my childhood knows how personal this subject is. I actually lost a pretty good friendship and romantic relationship because someone didn't realize that they were actively causing a trauma response in my good old brain. But yeah, let's talk about it. Let's address it. And this is the perfect month to address the subject I'm about ready to talk about mental health awareness, but specifically suicide awareness. As someone who has experienced loss and understands the importance of life, when I hear my friends, my family, or loved ones are going through suicidal ideation, I take that shit seriously. But I also have to keep my distance because I once did get involved heavily, and all it ever did was push him closer to the edge. So I kept my distance to people I care about, and if I don't know you very well, or I haven't known you for at least a year, there's a reason I keep quiet. It's not that I don't care. Quite the opposite. I'm afraid that if I continue to show up in a person's life, and they're already going through a bad day, I am more so not worried about how people think or perceive me. I am more so worried that I might activate or trigger the wrong responses and that you very well might not. You might get the wrong impression that I'm out to lash out, when in reality, I don't intend that. I'm trying to navigate around the traumas of grief and of loss that I've dealt with personally in my life, and that survivor's guilt that I went through. And it's not your fault that I went through it. I'm not blaming you, and by all means, it is my fault for why things didn't work out the way they did. And this is specifically to one friend that I had lost. Not to suicide, thankfully. I know they're a fighter. I know they'll figure it out. But I don't know. I wanted to set the record straight. You know, fill in any of the missing spots that might be being asked right now. I'm not going to say specifics. You know who you are. And hopefully everything's going well. Hopefully they got you on the right medication. And hopefully you're kicking ass and taking names. And if you don't think I care, buddy, couldn't be any far from the truth. If you thought I was a liar, if you thought I was a cheater, you're dead wrong. But I can see how you can see that from your angle. I can see it from your angle. That's the reason I don't blame you and I don't fault you. I just hope that where you're at now is better than where you were before. And if it meant that you had to cut me off as a friend, then understand that I don't feel bad about that. Because if it means that you'll get closer to being happy, or you'll get closer to feeling okay or content, if I'm the reason that you feel your life isn't worth living, then just say that. So then I can leave and I can smile and I can cheer you on from the distance and I can hope for the best, because no matter what you think of me and no matter how much you hate my guts, I will always love you as a friend. And I will always love you. I'll love you enough to understand that I don't want to find out later down the line that a life was taken. And I'm not saying that you would. I'm not saying that anybody would. I'm not saying specifically you would be. I don't see that as something that you would do, but that doesn't matter, because you have to understand I'm haunted. And so when you say these things to me, you have to understand I have to keep my distance now. Not because I don't love you, not because I don't care about you, but because I care and love you. I'm afraid that if I get any closer to you, and with the conflicts and you think I was being contradictory. I'm trying to be as understanding as possible. I was trying to get you to loosen up. I acted dumb intentionally. Yes, I know that Bagua and Bagua and Baghua Hung are two different things. I was trying to get you to, let loose. I was trying to get you to not think so hard. But if that's what you thought, then go ahead. But I'm telling you right now, if you think that I'm mad at you, if you think that I'm upset with you, if you think that I'm going to try to win you back or anything like that, I'm not. I can't. Not because I don't love you, but because I love you. I don't know if you remember me saying this when we first met. And this goes back to suicide awareness, too, because I mentioned that to you, too, how I did a speech on the subject, the very subject I'm talking about right now. But if you love something enough, you let it go. You don't force it. You don't try to act like something you're not. And the fact is at some point, I was so afraid. Because it reminded me of someone I lost long ago. And so, you didn't know how much you traumatized me. But nonetheless, I still care about you. Because I know you didn't mean it. Hopefully, you understand the same. I love you enough to walk away. But the subject matter is suicide awareness. And that reminded me of the poems I used to write around this time of year. And it reminded me of how much I was an advocate and activist for suicide awareness because people think that their lives aren't worth living. It is. You just gotta let loose. You gotta let go. And you know this. You're doing it. Granted, albeit you had to cut out the ties that you thought weren't really worth being around, but you're doing it. Hell yeah. I can't be mad at you for that. Well, you can be mad at me for anything or for not being there or this at the third, but to be honest with you, I started going back to therapy. I started working on myself. I started getting my finances back in order. I started building myself back up. I did feel hurt, and I still do. I still feel a little defeated about it because I never wanted to push you away. I thought I had to push you away. And the reason I thought I had to push you away is because it seemed that every time I showed up, chaos followed. I don't think you deserve that. You seem like you've already dealt with enough bullshit in your life. What would I be trying to head on to that? And yeah, eventually I did push you away. But only because I did not want you to think for a moment that if you perceived the intentions I was doing as negative, why in the hell would I continue actively engaging? And I couldn't ghost you, because I tried doing that before. I tried leaving on that note. And I fought to keep you around, but I kept fighting lest anything that I did wrong or any weakness that I did, you pulled back quicker than anything else. And maybe that was because you were trying to protect yourself as well. Maybe I was causing some trigger responses from your past that I didn't know about either. But it was nice. It was nice to be able to... I think it was nice to go through an experience to learn from. It was something to grow from. And no matter what, I will always love you for that. No matter what. Believe it or not, I ain't with anybody. I'm too busy focusing on myself right now. The other people that you thought were in my life, well, the universe had a funny way of keeping them in the wrong kind of company, and they got themselves in trouble. Me, on the other hand, I just kept moving forward. So no matter what, that's what you should do. And it goes back to suicide awareness. If you feel the way that you do, go and seek help. And I'm glad that person sought help. I'm glad that person built a failsafe, built a contingency plan, the Bruce Wayne of their own motherfucking life. And guess what? I'm super fucking proud of that. Because that's kind of how I live my life. Building contingency plans left and right, trying to prepare and trying my best not to rely on anybody. Not because I don't want to, but because I know that I can do it. And I know that I can handle it. Don't give up. You never know. Your impact in somebody else's life, albeit as the hero, as the villain, or an anti-hero, is just as important. Because at some point, it's going to shift something within them, and it's going to tap into something that they needed to awaken from their entire life. But don't intentionally be a dick. Learn from it and grow from it. And don't think for a moment that this life isn't worth living. It is. No matter how fucked up this country is, no matter how fucked up this government is, it doesn't matter. In these moments, we lean into community. Now me, I don't have many friends. I keep very few around me. But it takes a village to raise a child. So I think it takes a tribe to raise one another up. It takes a community to keep moving forward, no matter how bleak and dark and heavy it may get. So yeah, don't give up. Not just for September, but through November, October, December. Granted, I probably fucked that one up. It's actually October, November, December. You get the point. Be that year long. And don't stop. Get back up. Keep getting back up. No matter what. Even if the second law of thermodynamics is kicking your ass right now, you gotta still keep getting back up. Or even if entropy is starting to kick at your joints, keep moving. Don't give up. There are people counting on you. There are people who need you. You just don't know it yet.